I'm joined today by Amy Simmons, the CEO and founder of WeCOMPLETE. Good morning, Amy. Thanks for joining me.
Good morning. Good morning.
Amy, one of the biggest bugbears of any estate agent's work is that you've done the hard work, which is, advertising the property, finding a buyer, putting buyer and seller together, and then it's not a leap of faith as such, but when you put the case into a solicitor's hands, anything can happen after that. And we have very little control over it as estate agents. And fall throughs do still happen in our industry, sometimes just because the process hadn't started quickly enough, and therefore there's a propensity for a buyer's head to be turned by whatever new instruction comes to Rightmove. So we're really up against it when it comes, we're up against it a matter of time. We're against the clock from day one, as soon as an offer's been accepted. And what really caught my eye was the sort of statistic that you guys have been able to cut down the amount of time needed for a sale to actually go through by up to 42%. That's almost half of current times that we're experiencing. Tell us how you do it.
Yeah, well, it's actually, 42% on average. So some cases are rocketing through more like 80%, 90% faster than average. How we're doing it is very simple. It's a simple technology connecting together trained conveyancers in digital conveyancing, connecting them up with the client, with the estate agent, giving the estate agent the tools to quote instantly, onboard the client into the conveyancing process instantly, and from there on, top-end communication, enabled technology in order that the conveyancer has at their fingertips the technology to enable faster completions, and bringing that together. Just this year alone, in this terrible year of conveyancing, we've still managed to improve transaction times by 42% on average. Some of our estate agents are enjoying under 28 days across the board. And that's just a little bit of organisation at the start, getting the client interested early enough, and then that case can rocket through with our digital conveyancers that work in our platform. It's as simple as that.
So how you start the process very much dictates how you're going to finish it. So the quicker that you can onboard people, get people into the conveyancing system. Tell me, from an agent's point of view, how would I as an agent typically onboard with you guys, and how quickly could I be delivering that solution to my clients?
Well, our solution is branded, so we can get a tool ready for an estate agent in about 3 working days. We offer a full arrangement of legal teams, or we can onboard the current legal team used by the estate agent. Generally about a week to complete training, and then the estate agent has an in the pocket on their mobile phone quoting tool, branded up as themselves, to be able to talk to their vendors initially and then their buyers about digital conveyancing. With the touch of a button, it's simply 4 or 5 questions into the mobile phone, and the client has a quote across all the different selected legal firms and directly into their email, where they can instruct. If estate agents can get vendors on as early as the point of instruction, we do some pretty marvellous things in terms of pre-ordering of searches, making sure that they're ready at the point of instruction of the buyer. And we can offer all kinds of introduction type arrangements where the conveyancer starts to get those TA forms done, starts to get the onboarding process, and actually gets them ready, legally ready to transact their property.
So this requires a new way of thinking about conveyancing for estate agents, but it's not necessarily, I don't need to upset any long-held relationships I have with conveyancers. I can bring them on board and your solution will fit with them as well.
Absolutely. We do, and we can work in a traditional method where when the agreement of purchase and sale is made, then the conveyancer is instructed that's absolutely fine. But if the estate agent really wants to ramp up those completion times, they can change their mindset a little bit and get those vendors and buyers in super early. Traditionally, we are, estate agents have great relationships with conveyancers or dreadful relationships. At the point at which the estate agent comes to us and says, look, I've got a great conveyancer, we just simply onboard them into the technology, and then the relationship is even stronger. But of course, there's always room for more relationships, better relationships. We work with conveyancers of all shapes and sizes, small bespoke firms, right up to the full national size. So, the estate agent can really choose the make and shape of the conveyancer to match the make and shape of their estate agency.
Fantastic, because I know that's something that there's a lot of firms out there at the moment that purport to change the way that we all do conveyancing and look at conveyancing, but it requires a wholesale change of personnel in terms of who you've been using before. And I know that agents love their local relationships sometimes with local solicitors, and I'm presuming your system isn't too difficult for an average solicitor to get used to.
No, it's super easy. We do train, we do try and encourage a digital mindset. Some firms are very keen to take on the digital mindset. It obviously saves them a lot of time. Those that have fully gone digital in our system report that it takes 50% less time to convey a case for them. So obviously that passes on to the consumer and to the estate agent. Some, aren't fully digital as yet and don't do the whole signature process on some of the documents, etc. And our system allows for the law firm to work in a way that suits them. And ultimately, the estate agent has the joyous position of being able to change up their solicitors in their platform. So they're in control of who quotes at any one time. So if a relationship hasn't blossomed, they can always change up and find the right people for them.
Fantastic. So this is also, in as much as, yes, it's about saving time, it's about saving sales because you're not going to have as many sales falling through. It's also about improving customer service for the vendor at the end of the day, because they're going to have a much better experience with their solicitor. They're going to feel like they're updated, because that's part of the, let's face it, that's part of the painful process of buying a house in England, is the chasing that goes on, and that you constantly having to ask people for an update. And an agent's job sometimes is, we act as message takers in the middle, at worst. But really, if you've got a system that's updating people the whole time and they feel connected, I'm presuming that leads to a better level of vendor satisfaction.
Absolutely. It's so important that the service level continues of the estate agent right through to completion. And as you rightly said, at the moment, the estate agent loses control. This is a shop window, a full transparent view of the conveyancer working. So questions are answered just by viewing the platform. Each individual property has its own hub, and then the estate agent has view over all the properties completing. So you can get a snapshot in time or full detail. Communication with the conveyancers and their team is on a messenger system, and response times are phenomenal in there because it's so easy to look at the information and ask a quick question. Clients are leaving only 5-star reviews so far. We've had nothing else but 5-star reviews. They are blown away by it. And that's a little bit because the system has been so poor for so long. This is a real breath of fresh air. But let's face it, estate agents want to be associated with great completions. At the moment, what we see is a lot of estate agents hiding. No, we don't want to recommend a conveyancer. We couldn't possibly, because when we're bundled in with the bad work, this is a position the estate agent can take to say, these are our recommended. This is better than anything else you're going to get. This is why. You're going to see it transparent. We're all going to have a look in this shop window together. We're all going to work together. For the first time, we've recognised estate agents have a vital role in completions and can actually help the conveyancer with 50% of the tasks that are required. So that knowledge of them on the ground, and the knowledge of the customer, the knowledge of the pace that's required, the chain, everything, we need all of that from the estate agent. The estate agent can easily put that into the system and then guide from there on. It's just exactly as an estate agent would twist the conveyancing process and say, do you know what, that's what I want to see. Can you do it, Mr. and Mrs. Conveyancers? Well, yes, they can with this technology.
Music to my ears. Where have you been all my life?
Well, I've been struggling like you with completions for 20 years.
So this is born out of your own personal experience with and frustrations with the conveyancing process.
Absolutely. I'm an estate agent born and bred. I've been in property since I was a teenager. Completions were a thing for me, you know, even with my first few property purchases. I was guided by my parents as to which conveyancer to use. When he said it was ready, it was ready. There was nothing I could do about it. I've lost great deals along the way because he wasn't ready or he couldn't make it happen in time. I've had a real lack of communication. I just completely accepted it. My life as a estate agent, I've brought some deals to the table that would have transformed my life in terms of fees. I haven't been able to get them over the line. I haven't had a team behind me. And this is what I wanted to do for estate agents, is put them a team, an extension to their current team into a platform, people they know. For the first case that goes through, it's a new relationship. But by the time the second case is going through, that relationship is formed and the technology is just the place that you support one another and you get that wheel in motion. And the results speak for themselves. On average, 42% faster. And that's crazy on average.
I'll take that any day of the week. And I think a lot of us would have done it, particularly through this period of time that we've experienced over the last 12 months. And I think if there's anything that's going to come out of that period of time is this ongoing conversation between the people that carry out the conveyancing and the people who are doing the selling, the agents, and the people in between who are helping to support agents. And those are the prop tech suppliers who are coming up with ingenious and innovative ways of speeding up the process. And I often feel that the best prop tech solutions available out there to agents are ones that have been invented by people who have been agents before and have an active working knowledge of the things that we're talking about.
This was never going to be reformed by law firms. We needed to go to the law firms and say, we have got to make changes. If we carry on in the same way, tracking your work through basic tracking tools, it will never change. In fact, what we've seen for a decade is longer and longer and longer completion times. And it's getting worse, not better. It was always going to come from somebody struggling in the industry with a long-term experience to say, we've got to radically change this. We've got to provide a technology that says, let's change the way we work, not just carry on doing the same thing.
Fantastic. So in terms of the type of agent that can use your solution, I'm presuming it's open to agents of all sizes, from the one-man band all the way up to people that have a branch network.
Absolutely, a full range. It suits every type of estate agent because every estate agent is suffering this problem at the moment. We have a solution in place for multi-branch, so we have an overview, self-employed model. It suits very well. We see some phenomenal results from one-man bands. I mean, they really do want to guide this through. But the one thing that's super important to know is that we've replaced referral fees. So there is a fee to be earned in this platform per case, but rightfully earned, not just for passing the work. So it suits very well to the changes that are threatened in the industry. It reaffirms that relationship with the conveyancers, and it gets everybody working together rather than struggling to communicate over basic issues and losing sales. Our fall through rate is down to 8.1, which is 75% better than the average. And that's just because
those are fantastic figures.
The information is there. So it's very simple, really.
Absolutely fantastic figures. And it would be an absolute mistake to make it about now, about this period of time we've just been through, Because let's face it, I've been selling houses for getting on for 25 years now, and I don't think that conveyancing process has changed one jot since, since I started out. I think maybe the case handling systems are slightly different, but yours isn't just a case handling system, is it?
No, if you imagine we're a full CRM for a conveyancer. So for them, it's about physically working in the technology, and the technology giving them tools they haven't had before, making things available to them at the touch of a finger, one click, and the result is there. Search ordering, for example, this is a 2-click procedure within the platform, being able to send any document for form filling, any document for signature, witnessing, stamps, date and time stamps, whatever it might be. It's a 1 or 2-click procedure for them. And that doesn't mean to say that we're taking any of the complexity away. The conveyancer still has an awful lot of work to do, but we need them focusing on the work that nobody else can do. The mundane tasks need to be as automated as possible.
Yeah.
And we're improving that process all the time. But if you like, version 1, released in January of this year, improved 42% quicker. So let's go for it. Let's get great estate agents on board who want to see change. I think one of the finest things an estate agent can say to a vendor is, I can help you from beginning to end. I am here all the way. That is what everybody wants to hear.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. The revolution starts today. If you want to change your life and the life of your vendors and just make life more stress-free for everybody that's involved in the property transaction, get online, find Amy's details at Kerfuffle, and they'll get you onboarded as soon as they possibly can. Amy, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me.
That's no problem at all. It's lovely speaking to you.